Oh my gosh. I'm like, if everything could have camel in it now, I'd be like, come pet my camel. I just want to keep telling people to pet my camel. Hello, everybody. We're back. Welcome once again to On the Lamb podcast. I'm Tamu.
I'm the lady.
And we're coming to you, as always, from Ontario, Canada. And
I'm actually not in Ontario anymore. I've moved. Oh no, just because you said we're coming to you, as always, from Ontario, guess what? I'm actually not in Ontario anymore. Yeah, I am. I'm just being an idiot. Okay, carry on.
I don't know what to say to that. Anyways,
I'm the weird one.
Yeah, so we weren't quite sure what our recording schedule was going to be. I think it may still end up being kind of sporadic, as we were talking about last time, 2 weeks ago now. But yeah, magically we have pulled it together for now. Anyways, so what are you working on right now?
The only thing that I have been working on for the last year, feels like, Market Makes. This is a hat. This is a hat.
This is a hat. This is a hat.
I was thinking, that's what I thought of too. Steve, if you don't know what
I'm talking about, go to Stephen West's YouTube channel and look up This Is a Cat.
I think it's only on his Instagram.
I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube.
Let me look right now. Talk amongst yourselves.
Because
it's worth it. It's worth it.
I watched it again on YouTube. Anyways, either way, find This Is a Cat, because you just want to watch it on repeat and repeat and repeat, and you will die laughing like I do every time. Even though I'm like, I've seen it so many times, I shouldn't keep watching this. It's still so funny.
Just go to Stephen West's YouTube, period. Even if you can't.
Yeah, just watch. The only thing that's like not hysterical on his channel is like some of the tutorials, but they're interesting. So then you're like, you should watch those too.
And I just love his voice. Like, he always has this like happiness in his voice anyway. So you're like, he's being serious, but you're like,
yeah. I am working on, oh gosh, I should have looked up the pattern name now that the pattern's actually out. I think it's called, I want to say it's called High Ref, but
it is.
What?
You probably can't see it.
It is what?
This is a cat. Just type in, This Is a Cat West Knits, and you will find it.
Yeah, do that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so funny. Oh my gosh. Now I want to watch it right now. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I am working on Spruce is the name of the pattern by Caitlin F. French. I was test knitting it for the release of her new pattern book. And of course, I just started a row, so I'll keep knitting while I'm talking. I was test knitting it for the release of her new book, but I was kind of one of the last testers to sort of jump in on this pattern, so I'm not finished. And also because I was testing a million other things and busy with life. So I'm not finished, but I feel like I kind of stalled out on it because it's bulky weight. You can knit it with, I think she knit it with 2 strands of something fingering-ish weight together, but she said you could also use just a bulky weight yarn. So I'm using Brooklyn Tweed Quarry, I think is the one. Yeah, Brooklyn Tweed Quarry. I've shown it before. Brooklyn Tweed Quarry in the hematite colorway, which I bought on sale from a knitting shop that was closing. They had everything marked down, so I had bought enough skeins because I was going to use it for a carbeth, and then this came up and I was like, no, I want to make that instead because it'll be way easier and way faster. It's not that fast. I love this yarn. I think it'll be really
I was going to say carbeth really didn't take very long.
Well, I just figured it would be longer because like there's more parts. Like you got to do a body, you got to do sleeves, you got to join it, you got to like pay attention to decreases, whereas this is like a rectangle and then you split it into 2 rectangles. So I figured it'll be really fast because it's basically like a vest. There's not even any seaming on the sides. The sides, you can see it if you go to the Spruce pattern for the new book, and the book is called High Ref. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but that's how you spell it. High, Hire. TH. So you don't even seam the sides. You just put like a button down here and push it through the fabric to join it on the side. So it'll just be like, maybe I can kind of put it on now. They got one half done. Tangled.
Ding.
Ding. And I'm hoping it'll block out a little longer because I feel like it's not as long as it could be. So it'll just be like this panel on each side. I'm working on the second one, and then like big panel on the back, and then just like a button down here, sort of like this ginormous armhole. But it kind of, because it's so wide, it does kind of look a little bit like it has like a short sleeve. But then I don't have to worry about like anything I wear underneath it. I don't have to worry about it, like the arms being too tight or anything like that. I just feel like it'll be a nice, free, breezy, easy to wear kind of thing. And it's so bulky and squishy, this yarn. But I sort of falsely convinced myself that like it'll fly off the needles because it's bulky. And I think I ended up knitting it on a 5.5. So when I actually like update my pattern, my project page, I'll put all my details because I could not get gauge to what the pattern said. So I had to like just figure out the fabric that I liked and go based on measurements and then make some little adjustments to make sure I didn't run out of yarn. So yeah, so I feel like part of why it's like not flying off the needles is because like you do want the fabric to be a bit denser. Like I didn't want it to be too loose, but it's like this yarn, it'll be really nice when it's done, but it's a little bit, I don't know, it's like it's fighting with the needles somehow. Like it doesn't feel too rustic, but this line that the quarry is like a very lightly spun, like it's almost like a roving. It's like so lightly spun and it breaks super easily. I was trying to think if I had a bit that I could show you. Like because it's so loosely spun, it takes like no effort to break it. So it's like I have to be like a combination of like gentle but then like firm with it to actually get it to move on the needles. And it's like I just find there were periods where I was just knitting so much that it was really hard on my hands. And anyway, so I feel like now that it's getting cold finally, I feel a little bit more motivated to like, okay, now I want this done because I can actually wear it. Because it was a little hard to be motivated and to want to work on it when I would put it on my lap, like especially now that it's so big, put it on my lap and I could literally feel like sweat between my thighs because it was just so warm. So now I'm like, yeah, okay, I can get this done. So last panel push and then I'm finished.
You didn't say what you're wearing today.
Oh yeah. Well, and I don't know why I started with whips. It doesn't really matter.
That's okay. But I'm just curious. Like I don't recognize that guy.
It's my loops.
Yeah, I just realized that. I don't know.
I couldn't remember if I'd showed it on the last podcast, and then I was like, I want to wear it. And I think part of why I didn't show it.
Yeah, it wasn't done yet.
It wasn't done?
No, because you hadn't gone to the wedding yet. You were still. I think it was your big P whip.
Oh, has it been more than 2 weeks then?
Yes, I think so.
Craziness. Okay, well, here's my loops. It's done now. For some reason, I thought I had had it, but I maybe didn't wear it because I still need to block it, and I realized it because I keep wanting to wear it like in a vesty way, but I'm like, I need to like see if I can get some more length out of the back because otherwise it's like very cropped.
I remember because you were saying you were pressure knitting it because I was chapping your.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to get it done for this wedding, which I did get it done. And then, of course, it was like it had been so warm leading up to that weekend. And then on that weekend, it was too flipping cold to wear just this. So I did wear like a nice jacket that I have. And then I wore this, not the way I had it on now, but I'll show you the way I had it on. Because you can wear it multiple ways. So it's loops by somebody. Dang it. I can picture her face, but I can't think of her name now. We showed it last time too, and we'll link it below.
Pretty sure you go type in loops. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a lot of patterns named loops.
No.
I have a project page for it too, so if you find me, you'll find it. Anyway, so it's knit. The yarn that I used is Plucky Knitter in the Cozy Base, which is 90% merino, 10% baby camel. It is redonkulously soft. Like if you were like cashmere or camel, I would say camel. Like it's so nice. And like, I don't know, there's something different about it. Like, I feel like camel is probably more of like a longer hair than cashmere. So cashmere sometimes feels so fluffy that I feel like I have like cashmere fluff everywhere. Whereas like the camel is like, you get the same softness, but without the like super fluffiness. And I don't feel like it would be as pilly because I think the length of the fibers is longer. Oh my gosh. I'm like, if everything could have camel in it now, I'd be like, come pet my camel. I just want to keep telling people to pet my camel. That was not me. I did not start that. A friend of mine who is a pattern designer, look her up on Ravelry. Dawn Orchid is her Ravelry handle, I believe, and her like pattern designing name. She made a sweater out of a yarn that is a llama blend. And she was wearing it this one night when I saw her at knit night, and I was like, oh, your sweater is beautiful. And she's like, yeah, you want to pet my llama? I was like, ah. And she's like, yeah, I keep wearing it at work and freaking people out by asking them if they want to pet my llama. And then kindly, she gifted me the pattern because at that point I hadn't really knit a lot of sweaters. So I was like, do you think that's a sweater that I could actually make? Like if I hadn't made a sweater. So she sent me the pattern, was like, here you go, take a look and see if you think you can make it. And then the yarn that she used happened to be on sale at Galt House of Yarn. So I picked up yarn to make it. I still haven't done it, but I want to tell people to pet my llama. Anyway, so loops. You can wear it like this, like a little vest, and then you can see where the two colors join in the back, and then you can see how, like, I just don't prefer a vest to be this short, so I want to try and, I feel like I got lots of stretch in here. I could get a little bit more out of it. I did have to modify the number of rows in this part of it. In the back portion of it, because I just didn't have enough yarn. The skeins that I chose to use, so it is a DK weight pattern, and I think she used two 270 yard skeins or something like that, and mine were closer to 200. So I was like, I'm going to use every bit of this yarn, but I knew I was going to have to like make adjustments. So I got smart. I did the front as written. And then when I got to the back section, I just kind of like weighed my skein, knit a whole row, and then weighed my skein again to be like, okay, how many grams per row, so I could like get it as matched up as possible. And actually, like, I had a little bit more of this color left over, so the skeins weren't exact, but this was like how I could get it as close to even, because I didn't want to like knit to the end of the skein with one color and then not have enough with the second color kind of thing, and then have the back off center. So I did have to adjust it. Anyway, so you can wear it like a vest. You can wear it the way I had it on already, which is kind of like a little cowly, poncho-y type thing. And then you can also wear it like a scarf. So what I do is fold it, just from looking at her pictures, because she didn't really have like instructions on how to do different things, but I kind of fold it in half this way so the holes are like that, and then put it around. And then whichever side you want, tuck one side through the other. So this is how I wore it when we were at the wedding. Not like during the wedding necessarily, but like I had my jacket on and then wore it like a scarf, going up. That was cute. I like it. Feels really nice on. Yeah, so that's my loops. And I am so sad that Plucky Knitter, I just happened to get it one of the sales they had recently where they had like free shipping, and then they had a bunch of yarns that were on sale, that this is a discontinued base for them. So it's not even like I can go and get more of it. Like, huh?
That's too bad if you really enjoyed it. I'm just surprised other people, or they couldn't get any more camel or whatever the reason was.
Yeah. So I'm sure there are other brands doing camel stuff. So it's not like I think I'll never be able to have any yarn with camel in it again. But I'm just thinking, like, because this is such like not a weird piece, but it's not like necessarily like an everyday staple kind of knit for me, like for the way I wear my knits, that I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to just have something that's like really easy, really neutral with the camel that I could wear like anytime or throw on anytime sort of effortlessly. But whatevs. I'll find some more camel. I don't know how I had it on before, but and I like that it makes it like reversible. Oh, and colors wise, if you like the colors, because they do still dye the colors on other bases, although I have really noticed from the pictures on their site, different colors really show up differently on different bases that they have. This color was pure Michigan. So it's like a kind of like a patina robin's egg blue almost. But I think with that camel adds like a sort of a goldy undertone to everything. So it tempers the color a little differently. And then this color was called Old Copper. And I think the camel's picking it up pretty good. The camera's picking it up pretty good. Like it's like greeny with like a little bit of a bluiness. I really like them together. Old Copper is probably not a color I would actually like pick if I was like shopping for something. I wouldn't really pick something in that color, but I really like them together. And I don't think it's a bad color on me. Anyways, what are you wearing?
Oh, my auspice.
Mm-hmm.
By Lisa Much, which was a sister cow some months ago. And it is with Tennis Fiber Arts, Mona Lisa on the purple label, which means it's an MCN.
Mm-hmm.
It feels lovely on my neck. That's it. That's all I can say about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm wearing.
Any other FOs you want to share?
Oh, I've got tons of FOs. Do you want to see? So, Tam and I, we've said this last 3 episodes. We're knitting for markets. We're like, I feel like I'm getting to the end of like I think that I can take a little break soon and knit on something else. Although I'm really not minding it, especially with life. It feels really full right now. So it's actually been nice to have projects I'm not having to think about too much. So we were making hats like crazy. Tamu took advantage of like doing a couple of test knits that were hats, and they were for markets. So we realized we've got enough hats. We've got to make some mittens. So since that decision to make mittens, I have made 5 pairs of mittens.
Those are cute.
Yeah, what was this? This yarn was really interesting. It almost looked like and felt like a single ply, but I had to like look in closely. I'm like, no, it is definitely is plied. It's just more
that was a Richard DeVries skein that I picked up at what's it called? There's a yarn shop in Guelph, and I can't think of what it's called off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure I picked it up there. And yeah, I've had it in my stash for a really long time because it was like a total impulse purchase, and it was like and I think it was kind of before I was really buying a lot of like hand-dyed yarn, but yeah, I got it home, and it wasn't until after I got it home that I realized it was, I think, only a 50-gram skein. It wasn't 100 grams. No. And so I think I kind of balled it up or whatever and kept bringing it out to use it for something, and then realizing like, well, this is way not enough yarn, and then I never really had anything to go with it, and then kind of forgot it was even, like, it's not like I forgot it was in there, but I just never thought about it, and so I was like, whatever. Add it to the stash.
What's this colorway?
I'm not sure. Is it worsted?
Was it? I don't remember now.
You have a ball of it?
Yeah.
Problem is, if I've never seen it knit up, then I might not recognize it.
Oh, okay.
Does it have like, what? It was a DK cake, I think. Did it have like black? Does it have other colors in it? I can really.
Yeah, it's hard to see.
Purple and the black, but it has like a bit of green and a bit of orange. Yeah. I don't know. I don't recall what the colorway was called, but it's a dyer from the UK who I think she mostly does like non-repeatable colorways, like she kind of does small batches of stuff and then sells them through a Facebook group, like her Facebook group. Like say once every few weeks, she'll just like put up all the pictures of what she has available, how many of each she has, how much it is, and you, whatever, just order it that way.
That's yellow, but
that
it looks
called
white.
Lemon something, maybe Lemon Dropper.
Can you actually see that it's yellow?
Yeah, it has like a yellowish glow. It's
Yeah.
more buttery in person. It's
Yeah.
not. This is making it look a little like extremely pale highlighter yellow. It's not that highlightery. I think that was called like lemon something by up. What's her handle called? Up in Yarns, I think.
Okay.
She's from the States. She had some like random stuff on sale. I think.
This is Yarn Enabler called Knock Knock.
Oh, that one is? Okay.
Yeah, I only remember because I was like, why is this called Knock Knock? I'd love to know the story behind that, why it's called Knock Knock. Who's there?
It's funny because I bought that and the hummingbird colorway at the same time. So when I posted them on Instagram, I like turned the skein so you could see the name. So it was like knock knock, and then I wrote who's there, and then hummingbird. That's so funny.
This is
Siamese.
Don't tell me.
Oh, sorry.
Crooked Kitchen Yarn, Siamese Gaze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And your camera's like not really picking up the true colors. Siamese, so it's like a steely gray, brown, beige kind of color with like these various blues in it. Like, because like some lights, I think that color, like the darker color looks kind of beige, kind of brown, kind of gray. Like it's a really nice, like sort of pseudo neutral if you like blues. Is that the same color?
So then I striped it for a hat with this like sort of purpley, like a royal blue. I can't find it now. There was a ball of yarn. No, I don't have it up here at all. There was like royal blue with like royal blue and like a warm steely gray color, but you can't really tell.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it's a bit warmer, darker than the mittens.
Were they both from the same bag?
Yeah.
It might have been the same colorway from a different batch.
I think it might have been. I think I kind of remember you saying that like these three are the same, but the one was definitely darker.
Yeah.
Warmer. I really liked that one, but I had the least amount of that color. Anyways, then I gotta finish these like little baby sets. But this is Mineville wool.
That's cute.
Pink.
Was that pinky color?
Yeah.
Look closer to the camera.
It's not showing up well, but
no, but it's a little cuter knit up. I was worried that
with the brown, I like it.
Like reordering yarn for Market Makes and trying to because I was looking at the colors we had and thinking we don't have a lot of maybe as girly colors as we could, and saw this color, and online I didn't realize how much yellow was on the skein, and getting it in person, it was the skein was mostly this babyish pink, and then this yellow the baby poo kind of weird yellow ochre kind of color, and I was oh Lord, this is gonna knit up so bad. But it actually from the camera anyways, it's not as much yellow as I thought it was gonna be. It looks good. It's
it's like a pink hat for a girl, but it makes it kind of autumny.
Mm-hmm.
I like it a lot.
Almost looks kind of vintagey too.
Yeah. Anyway, and then there was this color for a hat.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I need to block these because I feel with the Tin Can Knits, the Barley Light pattern, having this garter section makes the hat really pull funny.
Yeah.
So they should be blocked. But
what I usually do with those ones is because I want to make sure that they'll machine wash well, I machine wash them all. I do a quick wash in my machine, put them in a mesh bag and all that stuff. But then when I take them out, I lay them flat to dry, and I pin them so that the brims match up, and then kind of stretch it, I stretch it out and then kind of pin it so the brims match, so it doesn't do that pull up in the middle.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize I had this yarn. I thought I left it at your house. This is the Twilight. I think I might put this now with.
What's Twilight?
Sorry, what?
What's Twilight?
From the socks that you made? No, maybe it's not Twilight.
The socks that
the socks you made for me? With half purple. We do this every single time.
Oh, Stormy Rainbow?
Stormy Rainbow Twilight. I don't know. I think because it reminds me of Twilight Sparkle. I don't know why.
It's Twilight Sparkle.
My Little Pony.
Oh.
You don't have girls.
There's a
Um,
couple of ones that I know, like if you said the name, I'd be like, oh, Rainbow Dash. Like I know who that is.
right. Sparkle's actually kind of like the leader, but
Which one's the one that's white? Oh, Rarity. Rarity's the only other one that I think I actually know.
and why you do remember Rarity?
Oh, Rarity because Ginger Snap That had My Little Pony Progress Keeper. So when I was a kid, I actually really liked My Little Pony. Not that, I don't think we had the show. We just had, like, you could just buy them at the store.
Yeah.
So I know I for sure had a few of them. I don't know whatever happened to them, but I had a few. And I don't recall what their names were or anything. I don't think that was important to me at the time, just brushing their hair and pretending like being little ponies. Anyway, so yeah, Ginger Snap That had My Little Pony Progress Keepers, and I wanted to order some, but I wanted to look up which ones they were because I was like, I don't know the different characters, and so I'm like, I don't want to accidentally order a bad guy like I did with Transformers. Because I was like, he has purple on him, he's cool, and then it's like, no, he's a bad guy. And I was like, oh, dang it. Anyway, so I was like, I got to see who these are. So it was like, she had the names of them, but they didn't mean anything to me. So when I looked it up, I was like, Rarity, I actually feel like akin to her, because something about, I don't know, whatever qualities she's supposed to represent, I was like, okay, like Rarity, you're my girl. So I think I ordered Rarity and maybe
Pinkie Pie.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I know a few of them, I just don't, and not well.
Yeah. No, I know them deeply because Ada went through a big My Little Pony phase.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. You don't lose that stuff easily. Anyways, go ahead. We spent a
Like,
lot of time on boring.
Like you are to
yes, what you are to Beyblades.
Yeah, I couldn't get the words out. You are to My Little Pony as I am to Beyblades now. I don't know what we're saying.
That's okay. We're talking about market makes, but move on. Oops.
Anything else you really want to show?
No.
I'll show you my other FO that I'm currently afraid to wear a little bit.
Yeah.
I honestly cannot figure out what's going on. I'm having like some sort of like crazy skin reaction. Like my whole chin is like super irritated. This morning I could feel like a little bit of like dryness and tightness right here. Now I'm having like a weird itching sensation like up here, and I'm like, for the love of Pete, if this spreads all over my face, I'm gonna lose my mind. Anyways, I was like, I don't know if I like ate something, if I have a new like food sensitivity. We've also had like some kind of coldy virus thing going through our house. So I'm like, could just be like a viral reaction. I'm like, or I could be allergic to my wool because I was wearing this for like 3 days straight. So I'm like, if it's this, I'm gonna cry like some serious tears. So this is yarn that I spun.
Mm-hmm.
So excited. I love how it's like magically did this gradient-y kind of thing.
It really makes me think of oh shoot, those two cool chicks. Spin Cycle.
Okay, sure. Yeah,
Like, oh,
it has that kind of quality, yeah. Which, I mean, their yarn is it has that hand spun quality because that's how they started. So I have like this much left that I'd like to make like a little tassel, I think, for the bottom, just to help like pull it down. Anyways, so I spun this yarn. So the fiber was from Jinx Yarns. In her Pure Illusion colorway. She is no longer dyeing. She very recently closed her business, but it was like I just happened to check, like to see her podcast and where she was announcing that she was closing, and so I was like, oh, maybe I should go check out her shop, because I think I might have checked out her shop before, but never really like seriously. And then she had a few braids of fiber, so I was like, well, it's my last chance to get it, so I'll order one up. And so glad I did, because the Falkland was really nice to spin, like being a new spinner. Sometimes I'm finding like fiber combinations, like when it's like wool and silk and all this other stuff, I'm finding it really challenging to get how to draft those combined fibers. But the Falkland was so nice because the staple length was nice and long, so you could get like a good, rhythm going with it and fairly consistent. And then I chain plied it back on itself just because I did want to kind of preserve the color sections, and because I'm finding chain plying way easier than actual plying, which I feel like is kind of how I am. When I'm learning something new, if I'm really interested in something, I find it easier to do the thing that most people would say is more complicated, because I think it forces me to slow down and learn how to do it properly, because I'm motivated to actually learn it. Whereas like regular plying, like just taking 2 strands from 2 balls or 2 bobbins and just being like into the machine, it was like, it's boring and I couldn't get it consistent the way I wanted it to. But in my head, I was like, well, this should be easy. So, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't slowing down to really like try hard. So I know when the right time and the right fiber comes along, I'll figure out the 2 plying thing. But for now, chain plying's working for me, and I really like the weight of yarn that it's turning out. So I'd say it's probably about a sport to DK. It's not super consistent, but it's more consistent than everything I've ever spun. So I'm like super excited about it, and I think it's beautiful. And then I knit this in like 2 days because I was so excited that I was like, I just want to be able to wear it. So I just made up this pattern as I went along. And I did I don't know what I was watching. Something reminded me, I was like, oh yeah, Latvian braids. I haven't done that in a really long time. So I did a Latvian braid for the bind off, like using both ends of the cake just for fun, because I thought it would be fun. And I think it's really cute. And I'm excited about it. And if I find out that this is what's causing me my rash, I'm going to lose my shit. Anyways, especially because I also bought 2 more braids of Falkland fiber in a flamingo colorway that I'm like so excited to spin. And I'm like, if I'm allergic to Falkland, because I'm like, wool does sometimes bother me. Like I wouldn't be super surprised in that I know wool does bother me sometimes, but not usually like this. Like it'll be more like I just feel itchy while it's on, and then I take it off and my skin comes down and I'm fine. I've never had like this kind of reaction. But while I was spinning that, I kept having like a really irritated eye, and I kept thinking it was just like, oh, I'm just getting like fluff in it. But I'm like, now I'm wondering if it was something else. Anyways, because the only other time that wool ever really bothers me is if there's a lot of lanolin in it, which I don't feel like there is in that. And I did like, you have to wash your skeins as like, you kind of like block your skein. You know, for those who are not spinners, it's essentially the same thing. You just like soak it in water and stretch it out a bit. And then I blocked it again after. So it's not like it's not been washed a bit. I don't know. I might try to wash it with some soap and see if that helps. Anyways, so now I just want to spin all the time, all the things. So 2 spins that I'm working on right now. I bought 3 of these like really crazy bats from Casual Fashion Queen, because I really wanted some Halloween fiber, and everybody's Halloween fiber that I kept seeing was like kind of more expensive, and I was like, I want to have enough to be able to make like a long scarf. And so yeah, if it was actually Halloween themed, of course it was more expensive. It was just like Halloween-ish colors that were just like a random bat. It was cheaper, so I was like, I'll just get these random bats. So this has already been plied but not washed yet. So I bought 3 bats all together that have like some similar colors like flowing throughout them. They each have some black in them. They each have some of this like kind of mulberry, purpley red color. This is the second bat.
That's crazy.
It has some greens in it. It has some sari silk. It has some like Stellina, Firestar, whatever you want to call it. I don't really understand what the difference is between like, there's like Stellina and Angelina and Firestar, but to me they all look like tinsel, and I'm not really sure what the difference is. The only thing I can assume is that the difference might be like weight, like some are thicker, some are thinner. I don't know. It's got some threads in it, but last night as I was spinning way too late because I wanted to keep spinning, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, spinning this crazy fiber is like a metaphor for life. Like you can't be too controlled about it, because like random stuff just keeps coming into your fiber, like coming into the path. So you just gotta like accept it as it is and like love how it goes, and then like just let it go and then just keep going. That's like,
that was so,
shouldn't stay up till 3 a.m. spinning. That
was so me the first summer knitting again. I was like having so many like downloaded like epiphany, like aha moments as I'm knitting this. I'm like, you don't have to be perfect all the time. It's gonna look just fine. And stuff like that.
And because like I think, you know, like when you make things, like you want to have pride in the things that you make, and you ideally want them to turn out the way you envision them in your mind. And being new at something makes that really challenging for me, because I don't want to spin yarn just to sit on a shelf. I want to spin it to use it. But you know, sometimes like if the consistency is not quite there, it's a little bit frustrating and trying to fix your problems and your mistakes. Whereas this yarn, this like Halloween-y themed spin, I'm like, I want it to be more random. So I'm like, it feels really good to just kind of like let it go as it comes. And I am still trying to get like a little bit of consistency of weight just to make it easier to knit, because I don't really love a thick and thin yarn. But you know, it's like, you know, we were talking before about that other yarn with those like bobbly neps in it.
Yes.
This fiber has, I think it's silk noil, which is like silk that's not been like really combed or carded or anything. Like it's kind of more blobby, and it actually like spins into the fiber really nicely. So I'm like, there's sections where it's going to be tweedy, there's sections where it's going to be sparkly, sections where it's going to be like barber pole, so like two colors are kind of like intentionally twisting together, other sections where it's going to be like a pure colored stripe. Like it's going to be so random and like crazy looking, but I'm like, yeah, like that's how it should be. Anyways, I'm like far down this rabbit hole, way far down. Anyway, so this is the other spin that I'm working on right now. I bought this braid of just 100% merino from Koigu. They had their tent sale a little while ago. I didn't go to the tent sale, but I saw that they were going to be posting fiber online. So just bought a braid of 100% merino and spinning it. So this is the first chunk that I've plied, because I have the electric eel wheel mini, so my bobbins are quite small, so I can't do a ton of fiber before I have to get it off the bobbin and do something with it, which is kind of nice because it keeps things like moving forward. I don't just have like a giant bobbin full of fiber that I'm like, I'll get to at some point. It's like if I want to spin something else, I need to free up bobbins and keep fiber moving. So I'm really loving this. The colors are way softer now that it's spun than I sort of anticipated they would be, but I sort of have a plan. I stripped this and the next bobbin that I have to ply off, I stripped down more, so the color sections aren't super long, but I think the next chunks I'm gonna leave them bigger, so the color sections will be longer. So if you knit this into like, say, a top-down shawl, you would have like smaller stripes going into like potentially all the stripes would kind of stay the same number of rows, but as the rows get longer, it would like accommodate. Trying to like plan and see if my thinking works. I've been watching like a ton of YouTube videos on spinning and plying and all sorts of stuff. So it's really cool how much more control and like input you can have into how this fiber turns into this spin, turns into this project. So cool. What else was I going to show you? Other things that I have on deck. It's like mini bat. I don't know how well you can see it through the plastic, but I don't want to open it. Like reds and pinks and stuff. So I was thinking, ooh, Valentine's Day. Oh, and I'm so excited about this. I don't know that I'll spin it anytime soon because I feel like it's going to be a pain in the butt to try and do it on my tiny wheel, because it's just like it'll have to be done in so many sections. But this is a fractal spinning pack from Yarn Shine. She's in California, I believe. So she does one half of your order as a really long, big gradient. So you spin this half as it is. So like white. So mine kind of goes from like I didn't want too much white. So it's like a lot of like light bluey color into like the teal, and then some blacks mixed in at the end and some dark blues and stuff. So it's really like the colors are really tonal. So you spin this as is, and then you have these roll legs that you spin each one as is. So this one, you'll have one cake that's a true gradient from beginning to end. And this one will have color repeats. So it'll go light to dark, light to dark, light to dark, light to dark. So when you ply these two together, you'll get a really cool like self-striping sort of regular repeat effect. I'm really excited about that. I just don't know if I'll be able to do it anytime soon. I also think it's a blend of fiber. Yeah, it's Polworth merino and bamboo, and the bamboo kind of is the same as silk. Like it's so long and slippery that I find it very hard to like control it when I'm trying to spin. So again, it's like when I'm a little more experienced goal spinning type project. And then, I want to show you what I got from Tanis because I don't think I showed you at all. So Tanis had a fly. Tanis had an update, and a fly flew into my head just now because we have like 2 stupid ready to die flies that are flying around our house, and they're so lazy. Like you can see how slow they're moving, and then they just land on you like they don't have the will to move. Like, get away from me, fly. Okay, so Tanis had an update, I don't know, like a couple weeks ago, of like all different colorways on her Etsy shop. So of course, can't resist a little Tanis. Even though I have so much Tanis stashed right now. Anyways, so I was trying to be good. I put a lot of things in my cart. Like she had this like crazy red color, and I can't remember what it was called, but I put a bunch of it in my cart because I was like, I want a sweater of this. And I was like, no, I'm like, I have so many sweater quantities on deck. Get it out. So I've ordered 2 skeins because I have a project in mind. So this is I don't think it's actually Blue Label because I think her Blue Label was a darker colored blue. I think this is new. It's an 8-ply twisted sock. It's very nice. It's very soft. And this colorway is called Magic Wand. So you can see it's like a light blue with a little bit of purple. My camera's like blowing it out like crazy. Okay. Like light blue, a little bit of purple, lots of very teeny speckles. Where pink or where the purpley pinky kind of color and the blue overlap, it's very periwinkle. It's really cute. Nice, like cool color. I really like it. And then the other one I ordered, you can tell there's probably a theme here. So this one is her Pure Wash fingering. So I would say thickness wise, they feel the same, but the 8-ply is a bit softer than the Pure Wash fingering. But anyway, so this colorway is called Voodoo, and it's like purple and gray and more moody, but still a lot of little teeny speckles. And yeah, so my goal is to use these 2, and I have one more skein that I bought at the KW Knitters Fair, not this year, but the year before, last year, 2017. That's like a light purpley color. It's not Tanis, but I think it's called Ghoulish or something like that. So I want to use all 3 together. And again, I have another like sort of Halloween scarfy idea in mind. We'll see. I don't think it'll happen anytime soon, but because there's just too many things. And I have one more thing that I really want to show you that I didn't even open yet. It's been sitting on my table.
Oh. Is that the magazine, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Okay. Just looks small.
Yeah, it's little. Okay. I was expecting like magazine size, but I don't know that I've ever actually seen anyone holding it. So I think I just made an assumption because they say magazine that it would be like standard magazine size.
Well, when I've seen pictures, yeah, it just looks like a regular size magazine. Even if it's like beside a skein of yarn, I still feel like it doesn't look tiny.
Yeah. So they had, because it sold out so quickly, they had put up like a pre-order listing on their website, and I kind of like hummed and hawed, and I went in and I went out and went in. Finally, I was like, I gotta have it. Like, I don't even know if I'll knit anything out of it, but I was like, I really have to have it. I aspire to knit this sweater.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll happen, but I aspire to knit this sweater. I love how it has like this silver, I don't know what you call that, embossing on the cover. I don't know if you can tell, but like all of this is
I heard about it. Well, I think through watching Christy.
And I also really want to knit this sweater.
So simple, but it's really like a.
I also think something about this woman. I'm like,
yeah, I think she could sell me anything.
Her when I grow up. I mean, I feel like I'm a moon child. I love the moon. Like I'd rather moon bathe than sunbathe, but so I feel like I was interested in this issue anyways, but I've never had any of the Pom Pom magazines, so I didn't really know if I needed the whole magazine versus just having like ordering the what do you call it? Like getting the pattern on Ravelry or something. Oh, there's recipes in here. And other projects. making moon garlands. Yeah, there's all sorts of cool stuff in here. So yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to sit down and take a look at this when I have some time to look for a new project to cast on. I love this company's logo.
Oh, that's pretty. Looped.
They had somewhere I saw somebody on Instagram had posted, and I don't know if it was the person who designed that for them or if it was the shop itself. I can't recall, but somebody posted on Instagram that they have it on t-shirts. And I was like, I need that on a t-shirt. Like, it's like the phases of the moon, but also like the phases of a project. From like sweater to sweater. I was like, I love it. Maze balls. Yeah. Anyways, I'm excited. There's like some articles and stuff and behind the scenes, and yeah, dive into that at some point. I think that's all for me. I have like so many ideas, so little time. I have like designs that I want to finish, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to get that out. Oh my gosh, we need to get that out. And new designs that I'm like, oh, I need to get that on needles. Like, there's just not enough hours in the week.
No, there is not. When most of the hours, I don't know about you, for me, most of the hours are house and kids. For me.
Well, for me, I feel like the last 2 weeks have been Miles. Like, holy jumping, that kid. My youngest dislocated his elbow on Thanksgiving weekend. Just, it's like a common childhood allergy if you don't have little kids or your kids never did this.
Is it a common childhood allergy?
Apparently, yeah. Or allergy. I was like, yeah, apparently a lot of kids are allergic to dislocating their elbows. It's a common childhood injury. Just because like little kids, like little joints are so lax that it can happen. So with my oldest, it happened twice, not as close together as with Miles, but like he was holding my hand and then he would drop down to the floor, and instinctively you pull up on their hand to try and help catch them. But what happens is like the weight of their body pulls their elbow out of the joint as you're pulling up on the other half. And it's not like it pulls it like so far out that it's like dangling, but it's like just enough that it's like obviously painful and not where it's supposed to be. So until you fix it, until you put it back into the joint, it hurts them. So Miles, like same thing. He was just playing with his cousin and was like, pick me up. His cousin picked him up by one hand, and his cousin's like 6 feet tall, and Miles is like maybe 3 feet on a good day. Like he's so little, and his cousin's so big that he like, whatever, pulled his elbow out of the joint just from playing. But we thought it was just bruised or tender. We didn't realize it was really out until we took him to the hospital 2 days later. And yeah, it was definitely out. And then he popped it out the next day at school again, and then popped it out one more time overnight. Like, I don't know if it was just the way he was sleeping or how he rolled over onto it or whatever, but oh my goodness. I was like, will this elbow never just stay where it's supposed to? Thankfully, knock on wood, it's been where it's supposed to be since then. But I felt like almost my whole week was taken up with, either having him home from school so he could rest it, or spending hours at the hospital hoping that it is an easy fix. Because I was starting to get worried that like maybe there was like tendon damage or something else going on, because apparently that can also happen, is like gets pulled so far out of the joint that the tendon actually pulls off like a piece of bone and stuff. And I was like, oh, why did I Google that? Like now I'm even more paranoid. Anyway, so it was like that. And then Steve had a cold. My husband has a cold, still coughing. And Miles was home yesterday. Yeah, Miles was home yesterday because overnight the night before he had a fever and was coughing like that croupy cough.
I didn't realize he had a fever too.
Well, I didn't check his temperature. He wouldn't let me check his
Oh,
temperature,
Lord.
but just like feeling him, like you could just feel that he was warmer than normal, which is not abnormal for Miles. Like if he catches even the littlest thing, that's just how his body fights it. I've just come to accept that like Miles gets hot. But it's like ever since he was a baby, right? Because like when he was a baby and he had the bronchiolitis, RSV, whatever it was, he had an extremely high fever at 6 weeks and whatever. So now he's just very susceptible to, he doesn't get sick for a long time, but it sounds and just seems very terrible in that like little moment. So it was like him waking up in the middle of the night with like this just, he was like, you know, the one tear and then a one tear. Like he was just, like, he like got up like seemingly just to go to the bathroom, but he was just so sad that you're just like, oh, that must be terrible for you. And he had gone to bed early, which is like abnormal for him. And anyways, so I feel like my last 2 weeks has been fitting in what I can when I can between work and knitting and life and home and whatever, and then just keeping an eye on that little monkey. So then of course Reese today is like, oh, I'm so sick. Trying to like force out a cough. He's like trying to force it out. And I'm like, stop forcing yourself to cough. You're just gonna hurt your throat. You need to go to school. Mommy needs to work. You need to go to school. Because yesterday I was feeling like my to-do list just keeps getting longer and I can't cross anything off. Because I was like, well, Miles is home, but I'll try to work at the same time. But then it was like that flew for about 45 minutes to an hour. He was like playing on his own and watching a movie. But even like as soon as we dropped Reese off, it was like he felt totally fine. And I was like, I still didn't want to send him to school because I'm like, you just had a fever, you just had a cough, you didn't sleep well. But it was like he felt fine. So then he was all energetic and he's like jumping on the couch beside me and like pressing keys on the keyboard while I'm trying to type. And I was like, all right, that's it. I gotta put this away. Like nothing productive is happening. I'm just feeling angry. Like I was trying to screen one of my roles. I help new instructors for a fitness program like get ready to teach, and so I was trying to screen someone's video for salsa tots, and Miles is coming up and like taking my earphones and then like playing with the volume and then like unplugging the earphones and plugging them back in. So I was like, would you just like to screen this for me, because like I can't do anything because I can't hear what she's saying. And I was like, oh my goodness, kids. Anyways, yeah, okay, I think that's it. Sorry, work emails coming through.
I was like, shall we give you a moment?
Oh, sorry, I've been like trying to, whatever, nobody cares. Trying to work emails be coming. So I'm getting distracted because I'm thinking about like, okay, now I gotta do this.
This is our cue to go, and we have not been kicked off. It's still
I was gonna say, I'm like, so much for that 40-minute time limit. Although I feel like the game is that good pressure to like keep it moving.
Yeah. So hopefully Zoom will do that again next week.
We should just set a timer. Yeah. I feel like if I could see a timer like counting down like just beside the screen, I would feel that like pressure to keep going.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Wonderful to be back again. Hopefully we'll see you again soon.
See you when we see ya.
Yarn on, people.
Yarn on.
Bye.
Bye.